Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw.
What's up, y'all? It's Galoob. It's been a minute. It's been kind of a dead spot in the world of sports. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We're going to talk a little bit of quarterback carousel because we miss the NFL so much. What's the rundown?
All right, so this is straight from my brain, okay? We're going to play a little game. It's called Keep, Trade, Cut. We're going to go down the list. I've narrowed it down to two tiers. One is definite certified quarterbacks. There's a 100% chance they're going to be the starting quarterback for this team next year. I've got 13 of those guys. Buffalo, Josh Allen. Baltimore, Lamar Jackson. Cleveland, Baker Mayfield. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. Tennessee, Tanny. Indy, Carson Wentz. Kansas City, Mahomes. Chargers, Dirty Hurdy. Green Bay, Rodgers. Detroit, Jared Goff. TB12 in Tampa. Stafford in LA. And Kyler in Arizona. Do you disagree with any of those 13?
Those are the absolute this dude's starting.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone I heard I'm on board with, and I think that will happen.
Okay. Then I got 19 guys that are maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Maybe cut them, maybe move them, maybe trade them. I'm going to throw them out to you. You tell me if you were the GM of that team, what would you do with that guy?
Okay.
All right. Miami, Tua, number 5 overall pick.
Galoob, GM mode. I'm seeing what I can get from Tua. I haven't liked Tua from the start. Still don't like what I see. Granted, you don't get a preseason. You didn't get the OTAs. You didn't get to start till the 8th week of the season. I don't care. I'm not there with Tua.
You're trading him right now after like 9 games.
Now, depends on what I can get. But yes, I am looking.
I absolutely agree with you. I wanted to be on board because I want there to be a lefty quarterback in the league. He's just not the one. New England.
Okay.
New England. Does Bill Belichick run with Cam, Stidham, or neither?
I'm going to take the option C here.
Yeah.
They got to figure something out. Both of those options are bad. I was all for giving Stidham a run previously.
Right.
Obviously, Billy B's seeing something I'm not because the guy's not in the field, but there's a reason he hasn't been in the game. So if your other option is Cam, I'm looking for something else.
If there is a guy, is anybody at the top of your mind that could plug and play in New England right now? I hear a lot of Marcus Mariota.
Okay, I could see that. I could also see Mitch Trubisky coming in.
Okay. I absolutely agree with you on that one, too. The Jets and Darnold. I've changed my opinion on this one. What do you say?
I'm 100% stay, and I'm trying to get out of that second spot. I'm trying to trade it to somebody, stack up some picks. Now, I've always been a Darnold supporter, I guess you would say.
Right.
He's playing with the trash line. He's playing with trash receivers. He's had 2 coaches. He's had 2 OCs also, I think. I'm keeping him, and I want to build around him. He's still really, really young, too. He's like 23.
And they just hired a defensive head coach.
Let the OC do what he does. If we got the right OC, I don't even know who the OC is.
All right, this one's gonna tug at
You're staying with Darnold?
I don't like anybody in this draft other than Trevor. And if they took Mac Jones at number 2, everybody would say that's a reach. So I'm keeping him for one more year and trading out if I'm the Jets. All I'm reading is they're going to take either Justin Fields or BYU, and I don't want either of those guys.
I'm with you on that. I don't want anyone but TL, and I'm still not convinced that Darnold is trash. So
far he's shown me absolutely nothing, but that's better than the other guys that are in this draft from my perspective. Pittsburgh and Big Ben. He's locked into his contract, but the GM and Pittsburgh as a whole does not sound like they're all in on him.
Ben already says he's coming back. It's happening. And I'm all for it. I think Ben's got one more year. I think we have to pay him anyway. You give him one more year, it's happening.
Why did the GM give that old line that the Rams gave when they asked about Jared Goff about he's our quarterback today?
Right. Everyone wants to make a story about that. It meant nothing. Art Rooney came out today and said, Ben's in. We have to work out the contract. Both sides know that. We're going.
You already know I've said blow it up. I think you're delaying the process another year. I think you can go ahead and get the rebuild started and be back and ready to go in 2 or 3 years. But you're the Steelers fan, so I'm going to defer to you on this one.
You can't monetarily. So I'm in for one more year.
Well, I mean, if you suck this year and go like 3-13, 4-12, boom, you're right back at the top of the draft. You can get your next franchise guy.
Okay, that's fine. What are you gonna do? You gonna cut him? Hey Ben, kick rocks? No, you're not.
Just come to a mutual agreement.
The mutual agreement is Ben's gonna see the field next year, and we need to figure out how we can put enough people around him to make a playoff run.
Houston and Deshaun Watson.
0% chance you get rid of Deshaun Watson. If you do, you're a moron. You somehow sit down with this guy. He is your franchise quarterback. You say, listen, this is your team. You're here for 4 years. Let's make this thing happen. You are the second best quarterback in the league. Let's stop butting heads. Let's go forward.
So an article came out that said while Carson Wentz was still in Philly, Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson went 8 to 9 weeks. That's 2.5, 3 months without talking. What if you get into that same situation with Deshaun and it's week 1, you're trying to put a game plan together and he still hasn't showed up? Then what?
What are you, a child? Are you a professional? I don't know. Make it work. You're not cutting him. You're not trading him. That's ridiculous. And if you do, you're an idiot. You figure out how to make it work.
The problem is Houston is so bare. They have no money. They have no draft picks. This could be one of those Herschel Walker type trades where the Dallas Cowboys have a 3 Super Bowl run. This could, let's say they get 4 ones for Deshaun. Houston hits the reset button. New coach, new GM, new quarterback, new everything. Maybe.
I'm 100% out on getting rid of him. You figure out how to make it work.
Jacksonville, 100%. They're going Golden Boy.
0% chance they don't. If they don't, Urban Meyer deserves to be burned at the stake.
I absolutely agree with that. I can't speak on this one. No bias. Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota, somebody else?
I think Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback. I think you have no problem rolling with Derek Carr. I think you know what? You're the Raiders guy. Yeah. You need to fix your defense. Your offense is fine.
Actually, I was really excited. Before the Colts called Philadelphia, the Colts called the Raiders, and John Gruden actually hung up the phone as soon as they heard them talking and said, do not call back. Derek Carr is not available. Don't lose this number.
Good.
Denver and Drew turned the ball over Lock.
Still think you're giving Drew Lock the ball. I'm not completely out on Drew Lock yet. I've seen some flashes from Lock of I could be good. I think you have to see it through here.
I think Drew Lock is trash. He's got 2 number 1 receivers and a first-round tight end. I just don't see it. We were at the bar together watching Denver play the Raiders this year. We have the worst defense in the league. We forced them to turn the ball over like 4 times. He's terrible.
I think this is a situation of you're only as good as your line. We see it all the time. Their line's awful. So I'm not all out on Lock yet. I think you keep him, and I think you see what he's got going. I think you solidify that line because he does have 2 number 1s, and he's got Noah Fant. So
the Washington football team with the comeback player of the year or Taylor Heineke or C?
I'm going C here. Alex Smith, great story. Yes, I know. Very proud of him. Very exciting story. You're just not that good, guy. You're just not. Taylor Heineke's barely a real guy. I mean, probably a backup quarterback. Everyone wanted a story out of it. Everyone always does. You need to be looking somewhere else right now for that answer.
So Washington just gave Taylor Heineke a new multi-year deal that is more than an average backup contract money. Does that mean anything?
I mean, it could in their mind. I mean, if they think Heineke's gonna be their starter, fine. If I'm playing GM, I'm paying him to be a backup. That's what I'm doing.
I've also heard Marcus Mariota here.
Could see that. And I mean, I guess another possible landing spot for Mitch Trubisky. What other is Dalton gone? Dallas? He's going to go somewhere.
That was just a one-year deal in Dallas. He's available again.
I could also see him in New England for like a 2-year deal.
I think Washington, all they need is just a slightly above average quarterback with that defense, and they can do something.
So you're saying Red Rocket is absolutely on the table?
I would rather have Marcus over him.
Well, sure. Yeah. I actually think Marcus Mariota is very underrated.
I think he is. I think he could be top 17. He could be 17, 19 in the league. I think that's his potential.
What's up with Jameis Winston?
Let me get there. The Giants with the reach for Daniel Jones. Is that almost over, or are we still trying to do that?
I'm still confused. So confused about Daniel Jones in general. Maybe as a person, I don't know. But as a quarterback, you talk about Jacqueline Hyde multiple times this year. I know he lost Saquon, and that affected his game. He came out this year looking like he was going to like turn the corner and be a stud. And then all of a sudden it was straight off a cliff as soon as Saquon went out. So I don't know. He's still on his rookie deal, so I don't see how you're not playing him this year.
If you want to know what's wild about this list, about we don't know who the hell our quarterback's going to be, the entire NFC East is on this list. I think the Daniel Jones experiment is over. You just got to admit you fucked up. The GM fucked up. Wash your hands. Move on. Go to the next guy. Daniel Jones is not it. They wanted him to be Eli 2.0. He's just not it.
He's still got a year on his rookie deal, doesn't he?
That means nothing. Arizona showed us you can go one and done with a guy. Who cares?
Yeah, but it all depends on if you have a better option, which obviously they did. I don't know if New York has a better option. They could do the Trubisky thing, not pick up his option and let him play for this year and try to play his heart out and win a contract and blah, 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 blah. So,
I mean, there's 6 potential quarterbacks in round 1 this year. If Giants think one of them is better than Daniel Jones.
Take him. Take him and let Jones play. You're paying nothing for him. Who cares?
Exactly. Dallas and Dak.
Dak's playing in Dallas this year. Whether it's on another ridiculous franchise deal or if they get something hammered out, Dak's playing.
I think Dak's a hell of a quarterback. I don't understand why Dallas fans don't like him. I think he's outstanding.
I agree. For whatever reason, Dak catches a lot of flack, and I think Dak's really good.
I think he should have got a 4 or 5 year deal 2 years ago.
Well, I do think he's asking too much. We had that conversation before. So I'm okay with the haggling, I guess, but I don't see any way Dak's not in Dallas this year.
I mean, right now he's playing he's taking a page straight out of the Kirk Cousins playbook, and in the end, he's going to win.
Hey, either way, he's going to be the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys this year.
Absolutely agree. Philadelphia and Jalen Hurts. This is the most confusing quarterback situation in the league. How do you feel about it?
I mean, they're going to run with Hurts. As a human being, I really like Jalen Hurts. I just think as a quarterback, he's not very good.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is good. And I thought they moved Carson Wentz to start Jalen Hurts, but all these reports are coming out that's saying Philadelphia is looking at a quarterback in this year's draft.
I could also see that. That totally makes sense. Because Hurts, you can see what you have, see if he develops. I get it. I don't like Hurts, but I'm not going to discredit the guy. He could come in. Maybe he studies his ass off. Maybe he's all of a sudden knows everything that he needs to know. I don't know. But drafting a quarterback, hadn't even thought about that. That's a great idea.
Also, don't forget, Hurts is a second rounder. So not only did they not fuck up by reaching for him in the first, he's on a bullshit contract.
Mm. So I think what you're going to see in Philly is, I guess, probably a quarterback competition between two guys, and Hurts is going to have to work his ass off. I'm not saying he can't do it. I just don't know if his ability is up to par. So we'll see.
Chicago and the Trubisky's.
Trubisky's gone. He's not coming back. I guess they're starting Foles, and if they don't have a giant red bullseye on Mac Jones' back right now, Ryan Pace is doing Ryan Pace things, I guess.
I'm a big Mac Jones guy. I think he's the second best quarterback in this draft. I hate Mitch. I hate Mitch so bad. You continue to tell me he's good. I hate him. He sucks. He is athletic as hell. He is not a quarterback.
Yeah, I did not say he's good. I think he has the tools to be good, and I think he proved at the end of the year he can play.
I think he's an athlete. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback.
Maybe he's not. He's going to get a shot somewhere.
Minnesota.
Wait, did we decide Foles is starting and they're going to draft a rookie? I'd be okay with them taking Trey Lance also. I really like Trey Lance.
I just can't take a guy from D2. I can't take a guy that took a whole year off from football. I can't risk a first rounder on a guy that I just haven't seen enough of.
What do they got to lose? They're already paying Nick Foles Ryan Pace's arm and leg for it. So
just whatever you do, just do not come into next season with Mitch as your starting quarterback again.
I don't think that'll happen.
Minnesota and Mr. Kirk D. Cousins.
I also think Kirk Cousins is underrated. I've said it 100 times. I jumped off the Kirk train. I'm halfway. I've got 1 foot on the step to get up into the Kirk train. I still think Kirk can play ball, and I think Kirk can be a playoff quarterback. I don't think he's the guy that's going to win you a championship, but you can win ball games from Kirk Cousins.
I've always said Kirk's in that 15 to 17 range. I think he's above average. I just don't think he has it when the lights come on. I think his ceiling, his max ceiling is 9-7, 10-6, wild card, maybe squeak a division out. Kirk's not taking you anywhere after that, more than that.
He's got to have a team around him, and they had a pathetic defense in Minnesota this year. So what do you want me to do? I think Kirk had actually a pretty good year. So
they're locked into him with the contract right now, so he's not going anywhere. He's going to start there next year, but please, in 2022, don't bring him back again.
I mean, it'll depend on what he does. So
New Orleans, the situation no one is talking about. Taysom Hill, the gadget guy, or the former number 1 overall pick, Jameis Winston, or Plan C?
I would believe the Jameis Winston option more than putting Taysom Hill behind center for 16 games. I would like to see Jameis Winston with the Rock again, with a team around him. Now, I know in Tampa they had a good defense. They had 2 amazing receivers. He had an opportunity. In New Orleans, did he learn? Did he progress? Because obviously he has the skill set.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have the ability to hammer down and be a quarterback?
I don't know if he'll ever be a guy that has under 15 turnovers a year. I just don't know.
You can live with that. If you're 35 touchdowns and 15 interceptions, you can work with that.
The problem is the last time he was the starting quarterback, he was 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions.
I'm aware. I'm just not going to burn a witch at the stake for one crime. It was 1 year, and regardless of how ridiculous his attitude is,
right?
The finger licking thing, that really makes me. I don't like it. It's fucking stupid. Stop doing shit like that. Act like a quarterback. Come to work, do your job. But I think he's got the ability, and I think if I'm a New Orleans GM, I'm going to put him behind center this year.
Here's the problem in New Orleans. New Orleans is in the worst salary cap situation I have ever seen in my 20-plus years of watching football. How would you feel if New Orleans said, Jameis, you're Jameis. We want you to be our starting quarterback this year, but we're going to pay you less money than the backup gadget, Taysom Hill. Because Taysom Hill's locked in for $8 to $10 million this year. You can't pay Jameis more than that.
I don't know. It depends on whether Jameis wants to be a quarterback or not.
Carolina and Teddy Bridgewater. It was the feel-good story. Everybody was happy for him, but it feels like that Cinderella's coming to an end.
It looks to me like Teddy just doesn't have it. I like Teddy. I think he's a really good backup.
So a report came out this week that Carolina has already cut 4 to 5 high-priced veterans, and they have made a package, the number 8 overall pick, other draft picks, plus Christian McCaffrey to send to Houston for Deshaun, and they're waiting on an answer.
Well, I still think if Houston trades Deshaun, they're morons, but I like that they're exploring their options, and I think Carolina should. That should be where their head's at.
So if you don't end up with Deshaun with that trade, should Carolina draft one of the quarterbacks at number 8?
I think you're looking at starting Teddy for another year, and I think you're rolling with the rookie and seeing what he can do, seeing if it pans out.
Yeah. Atlanta. It feels like that Matt Ryan thing is just about at the end.
I think Matt Ryan's probably got he doesn't move. He doesn't get hit. He's a statue. We all know that. And he still throws. But I do think that they should draft a quarterback. But something came out not too long ago that Matt Ryan did not want them to draft a quarterback, which is weird.
Who would want their team to draft their replacement? You think Rodgers wanted Love?
You're 38 fucking years old. What do you think's going to happen? You should want to have that guy coming in behind you that's going to take over.
Justin Fields is getting all the mock drafts to the Falcons at that spot.
Ugh. I mean, I don't see a problem with taking a chance on him. I mean, I don't like Justin Fields, but roll the dice. You got to have somebody behind Matt Ryan because you got nothing.
All the reports I'm seeing say Matt Ryan and Julio are both on the trade block, and if there's anybody on earth that has the cap space, they would like to put them in a package deal together.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'd have to see how that one shakes out. I don't know.
You just got to do some. You got to get these old guys. I mean, Ryan's still going to put up Pro Bowl numbers. He's not going to take you to the show anymore.
Well, if you're asking me what I think happens in Atlanta this year, I think Matt Ryan's your quarterback in Atlanta this year.
San Francisco with Jimmy G.
Sounds like another year of Jimmy G. I don't know if they have any other options. It's not like Jimmy G's bad. He's like. It's like him and Kirk Cousins are actual cousins. They're like kind of similar.
I think the Super Bowl taught us that when you give all the pressures on Jimmy and you need him to deliver, he missed the throw by a mile. He cost the 49ers the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. He's a guy. He's not the guy.
Do you think his $135 million for 7 starts is one of the most ridiculous contracts in the history of sports?
I mean, who else was on one of those deals? Matt Castle? Wasn't there another famous New England backup that got some ridiculous contract?
I think they roll with him again. He's just not the guy. And that defense in San Fran is just like defense in Washington. It's ready to roll.
Well, it was also hurt this year, like badly. So San Fran could have a better year this year. Jimmy's still going to be Jimmy. I don't know.
Right.
Like I said, Jimmy's a guy. He's not the guy. Your defense may be able to carry you somewhere because they're really good. I don't know. But I think Jimmy's your starter at San Fran this year. And
last but not least, the most ridiculous name on the will they be our starting quarterback this year, Russ Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks.
This is the second joke on here. If Seattle gets rid of Russ, you are a giant loser. Stop it. Put a team around this guy. I understand Russ's frustration, if it's even as bad as the media makes it out to be. Who knows? But you're not trading Russ Wilson. He's the top 5 quarterback in the league, possibly number 2, probably number 3. I don't know. You're not trading Russ Wilson. That's all I'm saying.
So the only reason this is a real story is because Russ has come out and done multiple interviews saying, I don't know why I don't have input on personnel. I don't know why I don't have input on coaches. I'm the most sacked quarterback in history through my first 9 or 10 years in the league. What are we doing here? You know, why don't
Here's
I
what I want to know. Just like with Deshaun, where are these guys coming from? Do your fucking job. Your job is not to put personnel in place. Your job is not to coach offensive linemen. Your job is not to coach DBs. Your job is not to scout DBs. Shut up and do your job. You're a leader. You're the quarterback. That's what you are. What do you mean you want input on player decisions? Get the fuck out of here.
You don't think TB12 gets input on roster?
No. I don't think so. I mean, maybe he made a call for Gronk, but I'm saying in general, why would you even want that on your plate? You got enough to do. You got to know the playbook in and out. You got to know where guys are going to be when they don't know where they're supposed to be. Why are you worrying about shit like that?
Different sport, but all LeBron's teams ever have let him basically be the general manager of the team, and it's worked out pretty damn well.
Oh, great. So the player runs the team.
We do know quarterback is the most important position in all of sports. I do think they should get some input. I do.
I don't think you should get any. I think you should do your job and lead the team. You're not in charge of player personnel. You're a quarterback, not a GM, not a scout, not a coach. Shut up and win.
So you don't think it's a problem at all that Aaron Rodgers' entire career, he hasn't had a first-round wide receiver? Or Russell Wilson's entire career, he hasn't had a high draft pick offensive lineman? That's not a big deal?
You're a really, really good salesman. I'm a really, really good salesman.
Mm-hmm.
Do me or you go to our boss and tell them what they should do? We don't. You know we don't.
Here's the problem. Everybody loves Russ, MVP candidate, blah, blah, blah. Pete Carroll's a great coach. They haven't done shit since 2014. That's 7 years ago. It seems like just yesterday they were, in the Super Bowl. That's 7 years ago. The shit's not working as it currently is constructed.
Is it because the quarterbacks got greedy and they're taking up a quarter of their team's payroll? I don't know. I've said that before, too. How many quarterbacks won championships on huge, huge contracts? And how many won on team deals? Because TB12 was 7 of them, and Ben was 2 of them. They're on team deals.
TB can do that because his wife makes $600 million. Ben's getting rewarded right now with his $40 million that's going to direct deposit first day of the league year.
Oh, geez, if I make 24 instead of 32, it's going to be a huge problem. My kids might not be able to eat.
Russell Wilson can't look across the field and see Ryan Tannehill making more than him. Mentally, that doesn't work.
Doesn't matter. Do you want to win a championship or do you want to be a highly paid quarterback? Which one do you want to be? I know where I am. Give me the rings, baby.
Well, that's all we got for the old quarterback carousel this week, guys. Let us know how you feel. What would you do if you were the GM of these teams? Agree with us, disagree? Let us get your input. Drop a comment. Like always, let us get that like, share, follow. We appreciate y'all.
We'll see y'all very soon. We know we don't have much football to talk about, but we will talk about the football that we can talk about. We'll get into some other stuff. Y'all hang with us.
As soon as March hits, free agency is going to go wild, and we're going to be all over it.
Also, check us out on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and all the things. We're on all the things.
TikTok's exploding right now, guys. We got some daily hilarious content on there. Check it out. It's the Robster and Globe Show 2.
See y'all.
Yeah, I'ma drink till I throw up, and you know, my mind is stuck, I'm puffing, you know, I just don't give a fuck, here we go, yeah.